This is Game Up Now News, and I am your host, Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we would hold it hostage and not negotiate with lies. Now, the $70 price increase in gaming, it's a scam, you know. Now, Jim Sterling had a great video where he went over the reason prices are increasing in games, and I'll link it on the video. The truth is this. Now, I develop games. I work with engines such as Unreal, Unity, and so on. The game prices for games is inflated. It doesn't make sense that it's easier to make games today than it was way easier than it was 20 years ago or even 10 years ago now with AI and so on. Now, the reason I'm going to explain to you why the price is inflated is that, for example, The Witcher, a lot of game studios buy assets. For example, The Witcher used Speed Tree. You could buy Speed Tree assets for like on Unity or on their own store for like $150 or $100. The reason the price is a fallacy and it's being inflated is that it doesn't cost as much to make games as they tell you. Especially since, for example, you got Assassin's Creed Origin and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They're really just new character models. They might have updated the terrain and made a few assets here and there, but they're basically reusing an engine that they have, and a lot of animations are being used. It's kind of like you could drag and drop a character model and put it into the game engine and use those old animations with new character models. That's why it's so quick to make a game. Now, a lot of people on YouTube, majority of game news people on YouTube don't have a background in game design. The truth is this. The game's prices should be going down. It doesn't make sense that you have access to Unity Engine free, Unreal Engine free. They might be paying for to remove some watermarks here and there, but a lot of these engines come with free terrain making tools. It is far easier to make a game than it was in the 90s. Way easier. You have higher tech to use it, free engines to use to make the games. That $70 increase is a scam. It doesn't make sense that, for example, you have hard drives and CPUs, the price goes down when it's easier to make it and manufacture it. So it gets cheaper as time passes. In actuality, game prices should be going down. It should be about, in all honesty, I'd say mainstream, or as Jim Sterling calls it, AAA gaming. AAA games should be around $29.99 to about $39.99. The price is supposed to go down. A lot of the game industry engines now are used drag and drop. It's far easier. You can literally take a photo of a mountain these days and put it right into the engine and it'll turn it into the terrain. Game design has become easier and easier as time passes. That whole $70 price increase, they're just trying to scam you into paying more. In actuality, this in the long run is going to hurt the game industry. So I'm going to pay let's say the next gen consoles, I'm going to pay let's say PS5 digital is $350. Let's say the Xbox Series S is going to be $350. And let's just say the bigger ones are going to be $450. So I'm going to pay $70 for a game. Then I'm going to pay $60 and so for the controllers. What the big companies are doing, you have to understand in the game industry that there is no union, so it's basically the wild, wild west in the game industry. That's why you have the whole crunch time thing where They have people working crazy hours, but let me not fall off to that side of the industry. The thing is this, it's cheaper and easier to make games than it's ever been. The problem on the Jim Sterling video, he touches up on this. The problem is they've increased the budget of games. For example, back in the 90s, you would have an in-house person make sounds, make the sound score, the music. They've brought in too much Hollywood level production for games. They're paying celebrities for voiceovers when they could have the regular voiceover people. But that's on the production side. And even with that, the game would still be cheap. In all honesty, games should be mainstream at its highest should be about $39.99. $70, it's a lie. And then the other thing is you're gonna sell a $70 game, and here's the darkest thing about the price increase. And here's the thing. Now in the game industry, they don't, you got companies like EA, they monopolize and buy other studios. But the industry at large, what the mainstream is doing by increasing the price, for example, let's say you're buying 2K, the new 2K for $70, or you're buying Grand Theft Auto for $70. What they're doing is they're trying to make you pay more so you can buy less games. For example, now back in the 90s, the price was what, $50, $39.99, to 50. You had more money to buy more games. Now add on to the fact that today's games have DLC, they have built-in gambling scams and all that. You're gonna end up paying hundreds. And basically what they're doing by increasing the price is they're trying to limit the amount of money you have to buy more games. And you think Microsoft and Sony, and here's the biggest thing, why this is even further a scam, is that you think Microsoft and Sony, who in all honesty are, have a scam going themselves, having you pay to have access to your internet so you can play online. You're paying monthly, yearly payments, $50. That's money you could have spent buying a game. The console industry, in all honesty, this, in my opinion, will only make PC gaming more viable. A lot more people are streaming on YouTube and so on, and getting together with people. It's gonna make PC gaming more viable. The thing is, the indie studios should learn from this and actually decrease their price. The mainstream price for games should be, in all honesty, at the highest, $39.99. If it was to be, you go to $60, should be like the deluxe edition type thing. It doesn't make sense that every industry, the automotive industry, television manufacturing, all the prices go down when things get easier to produce. But when it comes to the game industry, the price goes up. It doesn't make sense that you're all using a huge majority is using the Unreal Engine, which is giving you free textures. I'm talking from a game developer perspective. The price hike, it's basically what they're doing is they're trying to monopolize your pockets. As in, if we can get you to spend more money on our games, you'll have less money to buy other games. And another thing they're doing, for example, it's going to be $70. Let's use 2K, NBA 2K as an example. So $70 for the basic version. Then they're gonna, for the deluxe edition, it's $100. They're basically saying, well, if you could spend $70 on the basic version, why not spend $30 more to get the deluxe? Now, the biggest danger of this is that this is all setting up for what I call a console gaming crisis. a game crash. Now, it's going to be more on the console side because PC games, a lot of, you know, because of what Unity and Unreal have done, these game engines, we're going to get a lot more high quality indie games than ever before. And it's easier to enter the PC publishing side than it is on the console side. And what's happening is this. They're increasing the price on the console and they're going to head towards a crisis. Now we have the coronavirus. Less parents are working than ever before. I think over 40 million Americans are out of work. And now you're going to increase the price when you're having digital sales for your game. You're not even selling you don't even need to sell the game on disc or physical medium anymore. So all this is a scam. They're raising the price because they want to gouge your pockets. The AAA industry, your EAs, your 2Ks, the big companies want you to spend more on their game. They want you to, and what it's going to do for the console market is you're going to have less money to buy and play more games. They're all trying to vibe, they're all trying to get you to spend as much time on their game as possible until they release the next one. And this right here, this is a scam. It was a scam even during the 360 era where the games, especially PS4, and so the engines have made it so easy. Even the in-house, they're reusing assets. For example, I have a punch. Let's say Assassin's Creed Origins. I have this punch animation. I can reuse this same animation for the Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I just drag and drop the character model. This is all a scam, to just gouge and take up more space in your wallet. And it's going to backfire because we have the whole coronavirus thing, COVID going on, a lot of people out of work, the landscape, the money in people's pockets, but it just showcases the level of greed the gaming industry has. How it's kind of like this. It doesn't make sense. And they're going to bring up, well, we got higher textures. You just have higher textures and the price has gone down for hard drives anyway, and it's easier. And it's not like the old days in the 90s where you had to work with blurry polygons and blurry assets. It's a lot clearer. The engines are universal. You can drag and drop stuff throughout the cloud. It is easier to develop for games than it has ever been. I mean, after what, and I'm gonna make a video soon on what Unreal has done. Unreal has basically made gaming unbelievable. We're about to get games that are AAA film quality from independent studios like we've never had before. But back to the matter at hand. The truth is this. It's easier. It's been easy to make games and it has peaked. It has peaked when it comes to how developers, like for example, I could be in Boston and somebody I'm working with could be in Texas and they upload a character model through the cloud or they upload the entire game beta through the cloud. I download it and I can work on it. In the 90s, you had to come to the studio. It was a lot harder back in the day, 90s and early 2000 to make games. And even now with AI technology, such as NVIDIA, where, in 3D printing, or should I say 3D scanner technology, where I could scan a tree and it'll make a 3D model in the engine. It's gotten easier. It doesn't make sense that you're raising the price when it's easier and more affordable to make games than it ever has been. And it's on the way to becoming so easy that it's going to be at the click of a mouse because they're going to be integrating AI technology into the game engines. For example, with AI built into the game engine, you could say, make me a tree. and the AI will start, designing and referencing images from trees, be it online or through the cloud. It's easier. It doesn't make sense that the price is rising. And a lot of these AAA industries are gonna suffer because you're gonna have more people waiting for the used market than they're gonna be waiting for the buying it new. This will actually harm the next gen console. So you're gonna pay, let's say you're paying $400 to $500 for the Xbox Series X and PS5 for one controller that comes with it. You want me to buy other controllers at 60. You're just increasing the price. Now, the big thing this will do on the indie side, if the indie, the biggest problem is, the big gift, this is a gift for the indie industry. If they actually make some quality games and price it correctly, I'd say $39.99 should be the universal standard price right now. It could even be $29.99. You want more people to buy and play your game, and then you have the free to play games, or as I call them, free to pay games out there. What's gonna happen is you're gonna have more people jump into PC gaming, you know. So we're gonna pay $70. What's next? $100 per game. They're basically the big publishers, your EA, your 2K, and even Sony should be dropping the price. I remember in the 90s they used to do this where if it was a game made by Sony and so on, a home studio game, it was cheaper. You would pay $39.99 for a in-house game made by Sony versus $50. The price should be going down. But what they're going to do is, in all honesty, it's going to open more. Now, remember, a lot of people are becoming millionaires, and streaming's become a very flexible job. And let's be honest, with your console, you can't access Microsoft Word, you can't access Facebook and all of them at the same time. What this is going to do, it's only going to make PC more viable for people to buy a PC and build it. And in today's age where people are more tech savvy and follow more people that build computers and so on. But another thing is this is going to help the indie market because this $70 price increase is a scam. It is a huge scam, $70 when it's easier to make games and more affordable to make games than ever before. So instead of you giving the customers the benefit of the benefit of it being easier to make games, you're gonna raise the price. It's a scam, $70 scam. And in all honesty, if I, as an indie developer, I'd say this opens the door for you, the indie studios, to make games at a lower price. I'd say the indie games should start at, depending on the genre and so on. But in all honesty, the price of games right now should be, standard. I'd say $29.99 to $40 should be the price for the standard game because it's never been easier to make a game. And I mean, engines right now, Unity, Unreal, are literally giving you free assets to make trees, environments. And there's so many tools out there that are affordable. And like I said, The Witcher 3 and many other games use assets they purchased. As in, they didn't make it in-house. Like, look up, when you get the chance, look up speed trees. Look up speed trees. They even use some other assets. All I'm saying is this is a scam. But this has been Hold the Truth Hostage with Game Up Now News. You have a blessed and good day. And remember, hold the truth hostage. Never negotiate with lies. Yeah.